Hi, my magicals. Hope you're all doing well and that you're managing the energies, guys. Right, so the weekly energy update, just quickly, let's get started. Couple of things that are coming up first and foremost. Insomnia is still rife, guys. Please, this week is very much about going with the flow. Now, I'm not great at that. I don't like to be out of control of certain situations in my space. But this week is very much about us just going with the tide, right? We are not going to be sitting in resistance to things this week. If things come up that trigger us, we're going to look at them, we're going to process them, we're going to go, okay, I see what this is bringing to the table, right? Trust is a big one. I wrote a post on my Facebook page about it yesterday. Trust is a very big one at the moment. It feels like a lot of us are facing situations, and I think I said this last week as well, where there's a lot that feels like unfinished, that feels like all up in the air, that feels like it's not quite where it should be, right? It can be situations, it can be relationships, it can be whatever, however it relates to you, right? Um, Again, I'm being reminded that things have a rhyme and a reason, okay? Um, and we need this week to really focus on the positive. Now, I know that the energies have been rough, guys. I really do. I am aware. I really, really am aware. We have to start focusing on the positive, though. If we are going to stay stuck in our negative programming, we are going to come up against one wall after another. We are still in Mercury retrograde until the 25th of April, right? So we've got another 9 days of that, and then we've got the post shadow. So things that are coming up now are incredibly relevant for us to be dealing with. This is not a time to just brush it under the carpet and go, oh, I'll deal with it the next time round, or I'll deal with it this time, or at that point. That's not going to work. It's not going to cut it this time. Okay. We are really being forced to actually go into spaces that we need to be in, to dive deep, to get the work done, to clear it out for us to move forward. Okay. However, when those situations arrive in our space, and that's what we need to face, we are inevitably triggered by what comes up. Things get stuck, things don't move forward, we don't get to where we want to be as quickly as we want to. All of that kind of energy can create resistance in us because we go, this is frustrating, this is irritating, why isn't this working? And please just understand that I'm speaking to you as a captain of the army here. I am prized at doing that. That is like my favorite little go-to party trick, throwing temper tantrums and getting frustrated with the universe because nothing's going my way. What I do want to say, though, is that the less resistance we have this week, the smoother our week will be. We have to rest as much as possible. It is exhausting out there. It's absolutely, absolutely exhausting out there. Sorry, I'm still going through this throat chakra healing. Go figure. It's totally and utterly exhausting. And we are requiring a lot of extra rest at this point in time. As always, our water, our meditations, and grounding. Spend time on the earth itself. Our earth is designed to pull the negative energy out of us and to transmute it. But for us, it allows us that breathing space of not feeling stuck. Okay. I want to say to you that anything you need to do, I said this last time, whether it's cord cuttings or journaling or whatever it is that gets you through, you need to be doing it now. Okay. Physical symptoms have been things, I've been told things like back pain again. So again, circling back to where are you feeling unsupported? Where are you feeling like you're going it alone? Right? Kels was saying to me, that then ties into the energy of trust and understanding that even if you can't see the greater plan, that things are working out in your favor, that spirit has your back. Okay, that's a big one at the moment. It's a big one, and it's a big one for me. It's a very big one for me at the moment. funny enough, I'm hearing ringing of ears for those of us that are having shifts. Okay, there'll be ringing of ears, which is normal. You need to work out which side is which. So for me, very often the right side means that I'm going to have a physical shift, and my left side is going to be a spiritual shift. But you guys need to work out. Everybody is different. We're not all the same, so that's going to be different for each of us. I'm hearing. Okay. Symptoms kind of like, right? Not exactly like, but kind of like irritable bowel syndrome. So like that cramp eating something and it's crampy and. When you are getting that, please take note of what you've been eating that has caused that. Now, obviously, if you're allergic to something, right? And you eat something and you know you're allergic to it and it's going to cause cramps, that's not what I'm talking about. But if you eat something that you normally eat and you don't normally get cramps from it, please avoid it at this point. That's your body telling you that it's not prepared to process it at this point. As silly as this sounds, understand that our energetic processing happens as well as our physical processing. So sometimes when we are going through something that we are finding difficult to digest energetically, our bodies will find it difficult to digest physically. Okay, very important for you to understand that. I'm also hearing that, again, headaches, guys. Gosh, after I did last week's one, I woke up the next morning, my shoulders and my neck were solid, and I woke up with such a severe migraine. I promise you, I went down like for nearly the whole day. I couldn't believe it. So please be aware of those kinds of things, where I say to you, stomach pains or headaches, or because apparently now, because I don't really normally struggle from headaches like as a regular thing, so it really caught me off guard. So please make sure that you guys are paying attention to your health this week. Okay, if you can move, get as much movement in as possible as well. That will release any fear you're carrying out of your base chakra. That really does, physical movement really does help your base chakra. So if you're carrying fear around anything, that's the best way to get rid of it at this point in time. Okay, so just be moving around. Let me just check in, Kelso. Is there anything else we need to know? Okay. Right, two things. Surprise! It's like a very mock advert. But wait, there's more. Okay, so the first thing is that we are coming up for a very big physical shift as a collective, which means that will, he's saying to me, that will cover a whole range of different things, and each person will respond to the shift differently depending on where they're at in their part of the journey. Okay, so please be aware of that. Please just, if you start feeling physically out of sorts or not yourself, and I'm not talking about for days on end, check, guys, whoever you are, if you're out there and you're getting sick and you are like sick for days and days and days, get yourself to a doctor, get yourself seen to. This is about like a day or two of just feeling out of sorts. Like, we all know our bodies. We all know when something's not right. We tend to choose to ignore it most of the time, but for the most part, we know when something's off. So he's saying to you, please pay attention to your bodies. They're going to be big indicators of what's happening with you energetically. Okay. The other thing is that we, I don't know how I feel about this one myself. I'm just found out about it. I'm not sure. Actually, I think we channeled this with a friend of mine the other day. We are coming up to a massive, massive timeline jump, guys, which means that for you, time could either be speeding up or slowing down. It depends on, again, where you're at in your journey. It depends on what timeline you're on, right? Because we're all on different timelines. We're all doing our own thing. But as a collective, we are now facing another massive timeline jump. So what I'm saying to you is, please be aware of this. Whenever we have time, our sleep's affected, our dreamscapes are affected, all of that kind of energy comes at play, right? What I am hearing very clearly is that this is a week of focusing on what your life purpose is. Oh, interesting. I did a card reading this morning. For those of you who are, I did an angel numbers reading this morning, and the card that came up was 569. A change in the way material resources and supplies is helping you manifest your divine life purpose. Take action on your mission first and your material needs are supplied. Okay, now it all makes sense. They're sneaky, this lot. They're really sneaky. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to be focusing on your life purpose this week as well. That will mean that you're needing to clear out anything that no longer serves you. It's doing the work, the diving deep. Like I said to you, going with the flow. Whatever comes up needs to come up. Okay, make sure that you are he's saying making the most out of situations. So I just want to quickly give you an example before I leave you all in peace and quiet. But I had bought a friend of mine a gift from overseas in January already. Her birthday is in April, and I thought it would be here on time, and it still isn't here. Only to find out that, God bless the universe, the courier company in the US decided to send it through the South African Postal Services. Yes, I can all feel the collective what the F on the other side of this. So anyway, I decided that I would go onto a Facebook group and ask if anybody had a contact that I could get some help with. And turns out this woman gave me a number of somebody, and she's been incredible. She's been absolutely incredible. So long story sideways, the reason I'm telling you this is because sometimes we are put into paths indirectly that we need to step up in, okay? And the same woman phoned me yesterday and she said, Mara, your parcel is definitely here. I'm tracking it every day. You'll get your email, etc. But I can only work with you until the 1st of May. So my response was, oh, have you got a new job? Are you going? And she said to me, no, I've been retrenched. Now, for those of you in South Africa, you'll know that the South African Post Office is on its way out, really, and they have been retrenching staff. Now, I'm sitting here going, you have one functioning cog in your entire system, and you retrenched that cog, right? So, of course, that got my back up. Can't help it, it did. And I contacted the lady, who I don't know at all, right? Contacted the lady and said, this is the situation, this girl's been retrenched, and quite frankly, she's the only reason I actually know what's going on. And the two of us have decided to team up and contact her advisors and. Okay. Now, the story of this is not heroism and all that. It's about really standing up and doing the right thing, okay? In a very unexpected way. I never thought that my parcel being delayed and coming through the South African Post Office services would get me to the point where I get to stand up for somebody who can't stand up for themselves. So the reason I'm telling you the story is so that you understand that when there is a redirect in your space, or something happens this week that takes you down a path that you don't expect, right? Just go with it. You may not see the big picture now, but there will definitely be a big picture further down the line. And it's going to be something that will not only be to your benefit potentially, but to the benefit of somebody else as well. And quite frankly, I understand that there is zero chance of this girl keeping her job. But I will make sure that I send out a written review for her as well. So that if she goes to any interviews, she has a review from a client who really shouldn't have actually formed a personal relationship with someone in an institution like the post office. And that stands testament to her phenomenal service and her character, right? So I'm doing it because I feel it's the right thing to do, okay? And because at the very least, I want her to know that even if they can't see her worth, there are people that will see her worth. It's that simple. And this whole situation would never have arisen if the US company had couriered it like they were supposed to and not sent it through the post office. So I'm going to say to you, and this speaks to life purpose, it does speak to life purpose. Whatever happens this week that comes up and that feels out of sorts for you or is out or whatever the situation is, like you have no idea how many shitty emails I sent to the US company going, what were you people thinking? Really, what were you thinking? You're a first world country. What were you thinking? And objecting, given that the cost of the courier was 75% of the cost of the present that I had purchased, right? So I could never have foreseen at that time that this is how it would play out. So I'm saying to you, I'm going to say to you, I know that the energy is shit hard at the moment. I know that nothing's going the way we want it to. I know that there are delays aplenty. I know that there's frustration and that there's anger and that there's grief and that there's sadness and there's all sorts of things that are playing out and even loss. Find the crack in this whole pavement of chaos and be the flower that grows through the crack. Because all of us need to shine our magic at this point in time. And it may not be on a grand scale. It may be just affecting one person. It may be whatever it is. It could be any number of things. But be the flower in the crack in the pavement this week, because that's the only way we are going to navigate this energy for our highest good, guys. And I mean that seriously. This energy is batshit, and it's going to continue for a little while. It's definitely lighter than last week. I'll give you that. It's much lighter than last week, but it's still that energy of stuck. So instead of playing into that energy of stuck, what I'm going to say to you is find the crack in the pavement and bloom. Bloom this week, guys, because as a collective, we really need it. Okay. So as always, I'm sending you so much love. I hope that the energy updates are helping, guys. Please like, share, subscribe. It gets the algorithm out there, and it just gets other people into our space, into our tribe, and gets them to actually really and truly get the help that they may need as well. Okay, so I am sending you all so much love as always. I will be touching base during the course of the week. We're kind of catching up with everything, and work is kind of getting back to normal. So I'll be touching base with you guys this week, and I'm sending you so much love as always. Beautiful, beautiful week, guys. Big loves.